When you look back after you're gone, are you going to have any regrets?
I haven't thought about that much, and I guess I would say very few. The fact that I haven't really thought about it, and are there any major regrets? I guess I would have to answer that question no. I mean, I could give you anecdotal little disappointments here or there and things that I wish were different, but major regrets, no. I've done it my way, and I am accused of being a bit strategic, and I did approach it with a certain strategic point, and I don't see that I have any major regrets.
Justice Anderson, you're coming out here, you and the rest of the Supreme Court are coming out here in October. So you want to tell us what that's going to look like and how it's going to be so that our students and our public can figure that out?
Well, what will happen when we come out here, the day we come out, we'll have actually had our regular scheduled hearings in the Capitol. It'll be actually the hearings will have been in the Judicial Center. We'll pack up and leave St. Paul sometime around 2 or 2:30 in the afternoon. Probably I'll get the envelope. I know the route pretty well, and I'll probably be the last to arrive. But we're going to have a community dinner. The Chamber of Commerce, the local attorneys, the county attorney. I tell you, we've been just getting the excellent cooperation out here from the citizens and local group in putting up this community dinner. But that's going to be a chance for us to interact with citizens and some students on a more informal basis. Of course, everybody wants to meet Alan Page, and they'll have a chance to meet Alan. We'll circulate during the dinner and talk about the court, and we'll introduce ourselves and explain a little bit about ourselves. Then we come here to the high school the following morning. Hopefully, maybe Alan might... he runs every morning, and if he might be able to run, and there might be some students get a chance to run with him. I might bring my bike. I might. I don't know if I'll bike or not. I think I'll probably stay out the cabin that night. But then we'll actually have a real case. We haven't. We'll decide that case in September. It's one that hopefully is going to be of a nature the students will understand easily of what the issues are. We had a couple of them that are kind of esoteric, narrow issues of the law, and they aren't that much fun, but we'll try and pick one where the issues are clear. And in the high school here, we will be sitting as a court. There will be a real live attorney for the appellants, a live attorney for the respondents, and they'll be arguing that case. We'll be on stage. It'll be an hour's worth of argument, and then afterwards we adjourn, and then we come back. We'll visit with the students. They get a chance to ask questions of us, and then we'll be in classrooms afterwards. We'll be kind of spreading out and spending time in the classrooms to give another opportunity for the students to visit and explain with. And then some of us might, I mean, we've got an invitation to go over to the new facility, where the state hospital used to be. They've redone some of the facilities there, and we'll probably stop and take a look at that.
Is the state Supreme Court as tough on attorneys to appear in front of them as I've always heard the federal Supreme Court is? That they don't put up with fools very well?
Well, it's all in the eye of the beholder, but I think that we are more, I got to be careful here. I think in some ways we're a little more civil, but we can be hard on attorneys. We can ask tough questions, especially if the attorneys aren't responsive to our questions. We can be rather probing. And the breadth of issues we get on our court is a little bit broader, but particularly for the United States Supreme Court, and to a degree our court, attorneys need to know that what they're doing is that they're stepping into a conversation on that court that's probably been going on for years, maybe decades, on a particular issue, search and seizure, waiver, whatever. And they have a case that deals with a discrete aspect of that issue that's been part of that conversation through opinions, whatever. And so we are inviting the attorney into that conversation for an hour. And we want to enter into a dialogue, an exchange of ideas. And a good oral argument is a dialogue with an exchange of questions and answers and a chance to be persuasive. And then the attorneys are done. And the court then adjourns, as we will, in our conference room, and we will continue our dialogue with respect to that issue and render an opinion in that particular case. So it's a very important part of the process where we invite the attorneys in to be part of the discussion and help develop the law here in Minnesota.
Justice Anderson, over the years, has the quality of justices been at a high level, and do you think it will continue to be at a high level?
You're so diplomatic, sir. I know what you were intending. You always said, you were getting as close as you could. Would you rank some of your colleagues higher than others, and are some better than others? And is that I'll answer it this way. Minnesota is very fortunate in the high quality of person that they get to serve on their Supreme Court. It's not universal. I've seen a lot of justices from other Supreme Courts, and I wonder sometimes, how did it happen that they got on the court? We have good people. It varies, of course, and I'll speak from a jurisprudential perspective of kind of the conservative, moderate, liberal. I've always viewed myself as a centrist. I always have been. But the court changes. when I came on the court, there were people worrying that it would become, maybe more conservative. And is that now, there's some people that say is that I'm the most moderate or liberal of the members of the court. So it's changed as far as its jurisprudential philosophy from the time I came to the time I am now. And so is that I find myself now in the dissent much more often. And so does that mean that my colleagues are less qualified than my former? No, not at all. It's just that it's a different point of view and perspective on the law. And so I maybe find it a little more frustrating that I'm in the dissent more. But the quality of my colleagues is consistently high.
Justice Anderson, the words "of the people, by the people, for the people,"
we the people,
we the people, does that hold any special significance for you, or should it hold significance to us, the citizens?
What a perceptive question. Of the people, for the people, by the people, we the people. When our founders gathered in Philadelphia, they really didn't realize exactly what they were on the brink of doing. You had 13 different states. Some showed up, some didn't. And they're trying to talk about the idea of how they can make a better union. And you had differences of North and South. But when they finally came up with a document, and George Washington was key, and James Madison, Hamilton was, it didn't start, we the 13 states, we, said, we the people, these the United States. And you look at the Minnesota Constitution, it says, we the people. And then in Article 1, Section 1, it says, all inherent sovereign power in the state of Minnesota resides with the people. Those are profound words, absolutely profound. And they really describe what is the American legacy to the world. It is the first written constitution for a constitutional democracy submitted to and approved by the people. See, it didn't go to the legislatures of the respective states because they didn't think that would do it. It went to constitutional constituent assemblies in each state. Now, there was great debate. Patrick Henry opposed it. He didn't think it protected liberty enough. But it is a document of the people, we the people. And that is so fundamental, is that you and I are viewed as having equal rights, an equal voice. And the Constitution has set up a mechanism so we can protect our rights so that we can live in a civil society. But with those words comes a profound responsibility, because we the people, that means every one of us can't take things for granted. We have to be involved, and we should not say, well, let Mikey do it or let Jane do it. No, we got to do it ourselves. And so that's one of the more profound questions that you've asked, is what does that mean? It means that we all have a sense of obligation, we all have a sense of duty to make sure this constitutional democracy, which is our legacy to the world. You know, our Constitution is the quintessential Constitution viewed around the world. Now, other constitutions are viewed, you know, for their format and structure, Germany and whatever, but our Constitution is the one that's spoken about, read, and talked about because of the ideals that it expresses. And it starts with this: we the people. So, yes.
Thank you so much for being here. I've really enjoyed our conversation today. We hope you enjoy being in Willmar in October, too.
Well, I look forward to it a lot. And if I may close on a comment, I told you, I said, I hope you ask good questions. Don't be too deferential or else it'll be boring. We have to leave it for the citizens to judge on that. From my point of view, is that I don't think it was boring at all. You asked some really good questions, and for me to have this exchange with somebody like yourself who's obviously thought about, you know, what they would like to ask and thinking about what the people might want to ask, I appreciate being part of an interview like this.
Hope you enjoyed our conversation with Justice Paul Anderson. And remember, the students in Willmar Public Schools today could be tomorrow's justice on the Minnesota Supreme Court.